Hey everyone, welcome back for episode 6 of the Hawkins Hellfire Collective. This is Zach Grubb.
And Devin Grubb.
And we are going to be discussing the episode The Monster.
Yes.
So, if we sound a little hoarse...
You sound fine. It's mainly me. We went to the My Chemical Romance reunion tour on Monday.
A couple days
ago. Not that it really matters what day it was. But
it'll be like a whole month ago when this airs.
Yeah, when this airs. But I blew out my throat just screaming along to every song. It was a fantastic show. I will say this, if you are a fan and were able to get tickets to this reunion tour, you are in for a treat. That's all I'm going to say, because this is a Stranger Things podcast, not a My Chemical Romance podcast.
I could easily
run one of those
too
if I wanted to, but I am not, so I digress. Yes. Let's go back to the episode.
Yeah. So, we start this one, like, pretty hype right from the beginning, because we're in the Upside Down. With Nancy.
Mm-hmm.
And the Demogorgon is right there in front of us.
She's trying to hide from it, right? Is what's happening.
Well, I think she just sees it.
She runs away. She sees it at the end of the last episode.
Right, and that's where we pick up.
And we pick up with her kind of like hiding.
Yeah, running away. And we see it walking around in the woods. And like my very first note right out of the gate was the Demogorgon looks more like a guy in a suit. And I mean that in the best possible way. It really looked like they tried to utilize practical effects a little bit.
I think they still do.
Yeah?
For the Demogorgon. I want to say I saw some behind-the-scenes footage from this past season 4, of the fight with Hopper and the guys in the Russian gulag fighting the Demogorgon. And I believe it's a guy in like one of those like green screen body morph kind of suits.
Oh, see, that I believe, but I feel like in season 1, it was there were literally a couple of scenes where it was just a dude, like not a green screen guy, like a guy,
like Vecna makeup, like body makeup,
or like more monster movie type stuff. It probably wasn't as good as what they did for Vecna, but I don't know. I could be talking out of my ass here because like the lankiness of the Demogorgon probably doesn't lend itself well to that, but it looked like it.
Okay, gotcha.
And I think that I love it. Because I think practical effects always look better.
I was just going to say, I totally agree with that note. I mean, just look at Vecna. Vecna is almost all practical effects. Only the moving
like a
tentacles.
Handful of scenes.
Yeah, like the moving tentacles are, obviously, they're not makeup. But everything else about him is
and he's scarier looking for it.
Right, yeah. It's just, I'm a makeup person. I used to do makeup. I can still kind of do makeup. I'm not awesome, but like it's something that I've always been interested in. So when I see, like you said, with practical effects, when I see something that's like actual makeup, it's always so much better than CGI.
And then my next big one was, how does the tree portal work?
Yeah, because I don't like.
Okay, so
you have a theory, right?
It's not just that I've been digging into this.
Okay.
So we've been buying a lot of interstitial Stranger Things stuff. Because we want this
Those will be some fun episodes.
Yes. We want this podcast to take a look at everything we can in the world of Hawkins. And we're definitely going to be diving into what happens between seasons, where we have comics that explore that. Because aside from two different comic books that deal with the actual kids other than 11 from the facility, aside from 2 comic books that dive into those characters, the rest are considered canon for Stranger Things.
Right.
So when we have a larger discussion about the story, all of these books count, aside from those 2. But point is, after going through that and reading up more about the portals and the rules for those, it seems like season 1 had different rules because the Demogorgon is the one opening these portals. Why he can do that is kind of up in the air. I don't have a really solid answer, but the Demogorgon can do that in season 1. And one of the things that's important to note about that is that when the Demogorgon opens up a portal, it's like tearing open a wound that will heal itself. So it's not like the portals that Elle opens. It's different because those need her to close them.
So Well, then that would be why the Vecna portals are different than these then too. He essentially needs to kill somebody to open
a permanent portal.
Okay, those are permanent. But that would be why he's not opening these.
Right. Unless you're of the mindset that, Vecna is controlling the Demogorgon to some extent, which makes sense because everything's connected in the Upside Down.
Right.
Maybe Vecna does have that ability to open up tears, but the whole point of him opening up the portals in season 4 is that he needs to keep them open. Yeah, he needs to create that giant portal that can only be done if he opens it up in 4 different places, essentially trying to do what L does.
Right. And in order for his plan to work and for the Upside Down to bleed into the right side up, they need to be permanent ones.
Exactly.
So that's why they're different from these that close on their own.
Right. They're little tears, little cuts that can and do close on their own. And that actually goes back to what we were talking about in previous episodes with Barb.
Right, because we were like, oh, what did he do? Did he take her from the pool and drag her to somewhere else and then back to the pool?
So interestingly, yes, he does, but not as bad as we said.
Right, he probably opened one somewhere else.
Right, he opened a portal very close by to Barb, most likely, because we do have that picture that Jonathan took of the Demogorgon standing behind her. It is funny because she wakes up in the Upside Down at the bottom of the pool. And, the Demogorgon didn't open a portal in the pool, because if he did, all that water would have poured out. And...
I was going to say there was no water in the pool, but yes, there was. They all, jumped in and stuff.
Actually, that's kind of a dumb statement, because the water from the lake doesn't pour out into the Upside Down in Season 4. But we would have seen an open portal in the pool with Barb if there was one.
Right, and there wasn't one.
So, the Demogorgon definitely opened a portal, dragged Barb through it, then threw her back into the pool. Which is just a really funny image to me.
Maybe he was just keeping her there. I'm going to keep my food here for later.
Yeah, right?
I'm going to go off and wander around in the forest.
I'm just going to mess with her and throw her in the pool.
Keep my food cold for later usage.
Right. But that kind of question that we've had since we started this of how do these portals work is sort of kind of answered if you go out there looking for the answer.
Yeah.
We don't know why this Demogorgon can do it. But it can. It can open up tears that will heal.
Right.
So now we know.
Which is why we see the portal in the tree that Nancy goes through. Close.
Yep. They're temporary.
And it's also why it's easily opened again when she is rebirthed through it. Sorry, I really just wanted to use my rebirthing phrase for Nancy.
Well, yeah, because she comes out covered in goop.
Right, but it literally is she's being birthed through the tree into Jonathan's hands. I'm here.
From now on, I'm a badass.
Yeah. But this goes to they can hear. You can kind of hear.
You can hear each other.
You can hear the right side up in the Upside Down, which it has been used before when they're in the Upside Down or when they're in the further on, when they're in the Upside Down in season 4, Steve can hear Dustin when they're in Mike's house because he thinks that he's there and he goes looking for him. And there's been a couple instances in this where they can hear each other. Joyce can hear Will, and Jonathan and Nancy can hear each other when they're in the forest. And then the last episode, they can hear each other.
Yes, I think that's pretty well established.
But
not so much
we kind of talked about it before. Well, how can they hear each other? And
if you're in the Upside Down, you can hear people on the right side up, but right side up people can't hear you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, they can't. Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Right, because Nancy was shouting to Jonathan. Jonathan was shouting to Nancy, but Jonathan was not hearing Nancy.
Right, but she was hearing him.
But she kept hearing him, which is why she kept responding. I mean, that's not a super important note. It was just something I wanted to bring up.
It does put my mind in a place where I actually just read there was a comic book about Will's time in the Upside Down.
Yeah.
And I'm very excited to dive into that, and that's actually a pretty major point in that book.
Okay. Cool.
I won't get into it now.
I haven't read it yet. Yeah. I haven't read it yet.
Between seasons 1 and 2, we're going to dive into that.
Devin hasn't done her homework.
You've done plenty of homework.
Follow us on social media, Hawkins Hellfire Collective on Instagram.
Yeah. So
my next note is Steve can't be mean. And I think that's in regards to, because he was going to check on Nancy because she said that she couldn't hang out, and he finds her and Jonathan in his room, in her room, and he just looks hurt.
So defeated.
Yeah, he doesn't.
So sad.
I said he just looked sad, and I want to hug him. He should have looked angry, and he doesn't. He just looks broken.
Yeah. Poor Steve.
Until...
We'll talk about it. I think
that was more the friend's idea, though, than his.
It was. I don't really have any notes again until we get to Hopper and...
I'm next.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I completely forgot that not only did we hear Eleven's name in season 1, when Hopper finds out about her mom...
But Terry, Ives, and Jane are brought up early on.
Yeah, but that Hop and 11 have been connected since season 1. For some reason, in my head, that connection was completely lost.
Yeah. We forgot about it.
Yeah, like I remembered, how he helped them in the last couple episodes, and I remembered how he, left her the food at the end of the season. But like the deeper connection between 11 and Hop, for some reason in my head, I was like, oh, that starts in season 2. It really doesn't.
No, it starts here. And I wrote down a quote that he says. He's like, thought I was looking for Will, but I was chasing after some other kid. He's literally been chasing after 11 the entire time, thinking he's going for Will, but he's inadvertently looking for 11 the whole time.
He's inadvertently looking for his future daughter.
Yep.
Oh, when that blonde lady came to Mr. Clark's door.
Leave Mr. Clark alone.
Leave Mr. Clark alone. I was so serious.
I forgot. And I forgot how much I hated her.
Yeah, and like the second that scene played, I remembered watching the show for the first time and being like, oh no, don't kill Mr. Clark.
Mr. Clark.
Please don't kill Mr. Clark.
But really, she's just there to get to the Fantastic Four.
Yes.
Because she knows that he is in charge of the AV club. Mm-hmm. So she comes to him with some fake-ass brochure like, oh, do you know anybody that would be interested in this? And he's like, well, I know 3 kids who would absolutely love this. And it just so happens to be our kids.
Yeah.
I just put, so glad this bitch doesn't make it past this season. I can't stand her.
She's awful.
She's awful. And she doesn't really talk much. I can't stand her face either. Like, she just has, like, one of those faces.
You know what that is, though?
What?
Top tier acting.
It is good acting. It is good acting,
To make your character that hateable and with so few lines. No. Props.
Props to her.
Yes.
Nice job, blonde lady. I don't even know your name.
We could look it up. We'll look it up. We're not going to look it up.
No, I don't care enough.
I think next I go back to the kids.
Yeah, well, because this episode kind of jumps around a lot.
It does.
You go from one people to one set to one set to one set to one set. It's kind of that fast pace that we get in the later seasons and jumping to different stories. It's
like, okay, we need to start connecting all of these pieces in episode 7, so we need to get everyone where they need to be.
Where they need to be, exactly.
Which is it contrasts pretty heavily to what we see in the first 5 episodes where things move along pretty slowly, like in satisfying ways.
Right, but that's because it's still building that exposition, and I feel like this episode is a clear like climax, or like the we're getting to that tip of the climax before everything starts to just like unwind. Like, this is where the climax of the season kind of starts.
Yeah. I jump right back into all caps. Dustin is the heart.
He's always the voice of reason.
Yep. Gets Mike and Lucas to make up.
Yeah.
Also, Lucas really had it out for Elle, and they like kind of sort of get into it when Dustin's talking to Mike, and he's like, hey, he's your best friend. Like, yeah, I get it, but I feel like he really cared about Will. And it's kind of ridiculous that no one calls that out and it's never brought up again. It's
not brought up again. You don't see how close their relationship was. I really feel like in the later seasons.
You
in
don't.
The other season.
It just completely falls through the cracks for just like, oh, Will and Mike are best friends. But like, the person fighting the hardest to find Will and to save him in that little group is Lucas.
Lucas right now. Yeah.
I would love to see that come back in some way in season 4 or season 5.
I would like to see Will's relationship with everybody be better in season 5. I feel like, now this is just my opinion, but I feel like after this season, Will's kind of like the also-ran friend. Like, he's just kind of like, oh yeah, Will's here.
Yeah.
Like,
things are happening to
Things are
Will.
happening to Will, and I feel, maybe not so much next season, because things are happening to Will, so there's definitely, like, a big concern for what's going on with Will, and how can they stop it. But season 3, nobody cares about him, it seems like. He's just like, I want to play D&D, and they're like, well, too bad we have girlfriends now, I don't care.
Yeah.
And I just feel bad.
It's rough.
But whatevs. Mrs. Wheeler lockpicking Nancy's room really made me angry. Because I've been, like, thinking she's, like, a top-tier mom this whole season. And then she goes and picks Nancy's lock. And I was like, that's not cool, Mrs. Wheeler.
It's not. Nancy was acting weird, but that's a line.
But don't pick your kid's lock.
Yeah, that's a line that shouldn't be crossed.
I don't know. Maybe that's just me. And I don't think parents should pick their kids' locks. I grew up with no lock on my door, so
I grew up without doors.
Well, there you go. So we didn't have the level of privacy that Mrs. Wheeler gave her children. They had locks on their doors.
Privacy isn't something I experienced until college. We get the whole scene with Elle getting her Eggos from the store.
She calls the grocery clerk a mouth breather.
He didn't even do anything.
No.
She just goes mouth breather.
He was like,
pushes him aside and takes her Eggos.
Do you need help, or can I find your parents or something like that? And she's just like, mouth breather. And she takes the Eggos and breaks the door. Like, 11, you do not have the insurance to pay for this.
She's like, nobody knows who I am. I can melt brains, whatever.
Right?
Screw it. I'm hungry.
Before that happens, though, there's a flashback.
Was there?
Yeah. To Brenner making 11 go back to the Upside Down. This is where isn't this where he's like, oh, we're going to make contact. And I put, find one? ?
Did that happen before? Oh, no, that happened after.
It happened after, but
yeah.
I wrote it down before. I guess I was seeing the future of the show.
Yeah,
it happened after the grocery store?
Maybe?
It doesn't matter, but he makes her go into the Upside Down again.
No, you're right. I have a different note about Brenner later, but yeah, I can't believe
he makes her go into the Upside, and we just, this... Every time he makes her do something involving the Upside Down, we're always thinking at this point, is it to find Henry? Like,
yeah.
Is that your goal?
So I will say, when it comes to the question of did they plan this from the beginning, I am, as of right now, sitting pretty firmly in the space of no, but that they left plenty of openings to do things in the future. I think this is one of those scenes where they specifically wrote the scene so that it could mean something later if they needed it to. Mm-hmm. Because it does line up very well.
Yeah, I think they had a definite, and as we go on, we'll be able to discuss this a little bit further. But, as of right now, I feel like they had a clear idea of what they wanted to do with the characters and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But they were, laying a path.
There was a foundation.
They were laying a foundation with things that are clearly tied, and then things that could not be.
Yeah.
It's very open-ended at this point, I feel like.
Could you imagine if the Duffers ever found this podcast that we're doing, and they're literally just spending every episode calling us liars?
No, we're not. We're not. I don't think we're calling them liars at all. I think we are you know, they have said that, you know, oh, everything can be, you know, everything ties back together. They can all tie together. And we're just saying from watching it from our standpoint, we don't necessarily believe that. We're not saying that they're lying about it. We just don't fully see it.
Right. Or I guess that's what
we
this
don't
is about.
fully see it yet.
It's trying to see it.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all just everybody's opinion and their thoughts and their theories and everything. And it doesn't matter what the creators say. People are always going to be like, well, that's not true.
That's true.
You know, so.
I studied writing through school. Author intent is
it's
thrown out the window constantly.
Everything is, you know, it's all subjective and everything. So it's you know, it's neither here nor this is for entertainment purposes. And if you think that we're calling them liars, well, maybe this isn't.
I'm the one who said that.
Our
audience is lovely. Our audience has never called us out.
I just
I was being funny.
I digress. Sorry. Lucas goes rogue.
Yep, he was ready to kick ass. He's always ready to kick ass.
He's the first one that sees that they're being watched by Hawkins' lab too.
Mm-hmm. So
that was just a little.
We had a disagreement on this. I think that from the conversations Terry was having with Hopper, or not Terry, that Terry's sister was having with Hopper. Let's go.
I wrote down like the actual premise of that
scene.
Go for it. So basically, Hopper and Joyce go to visit Terry Ives, who is Jane's mother, 11's mother. And she's like not catatonic is the term that you would use for her. She's there, but she's not. Apparently she did like experiments with Brenner back in like the 60s and was super drugged up and everything. And her sister tells Hopper and Joyce basically what happened. Terry was pregnant at the time that these experiments were happening. Mm-hmm. She was told that she miscarried because of all of the experiments and everything, but she didn't. Her daughter is 11, and Brenner took her. Terry also believed that her daughter was born with special powers, and she was. And Joyce believes this story wholeheartedly. Hopper thinks it's a cover-up. And then say your ideas, because we've had a full-on disagreement about this.
Yeah, okay. So, to me, the implication of season 1, when they explain this, is that 11 was born with powers because of the experiments. That's the way that the information was presented in the episode.
That's not where we disagreed, though.
It's not. I'm getting there. So, to me, that sounds like Brenner essentially made 1. Brenner made 11. So, not so much in that, like, he's not literally her father or anything like that, but if it wasn't for Brenner's experiments, 11 would not have powers. To me, that flies in the face of season 4, where they imply heavily that he went out looking for kids with powers. That he went out to find the kids, where back in season 1, we're working with this implication that he made the kids that we see.
And that's where I disagree. I don't necessarily think that he made the kids. Do I think he has something to do with 11's powers? Possibly. But I don't necessarily think that him going out and looking for kids that they talk about in season 4 isn't true. I don't fully think that, he was looking for pregnant people to experiment on so that they would all be born with powers like 11.
I don't think that either.
That's kind of what it seems like, though.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that season 1 sets it up like that's what he's doing. I'm not saying I think that's what happened. Because I don't think
he's, quote-unquote, making kids with powers by these experiments. I just think that coincidentally that's what happened with 11.
So you're saying that coincidentally he's out there looking for kids with powers and just happens to make one?
Because he found Henry so much, earlier than 11 was born.
Right, but we also have to remember that that's season 4 writing.
I know, but this, like, I'm trying to tie it together, because that's the whole point of this.
Right, I get, this is what I'm saying. I'm saying that this is something that cannot be tied together if we're taking season 1 at face value.
I guess. I still don't necessarily... The whole, like, made them seems...
Well, like, it makes it seem like what happened with 11 was, like, an accident, or was it? Or was that the intent of these projects? Why else were they doing this?
They didn't know she was pregnant. She didn't... I don't know that she
didn't know she was pregnant.
She didn't know she was pregnant.
Brenner's a shady dude.
Yeah. Well, what do you think?
What do you think? We need a forum of some sort where people can actually, like, respond to us on this stuff.
Follow us on Instagram.
Yeah,
at Hawkins Hellfire Collective. Send us a message. We'll discuss.
I just think I prefer the idea that he went out looking for these kids, and I don't like that season 1 set it up that, you know, Brenner's running these experiments, and all of a sudden a girl with powers is born.
I don't want to say set it up, because that makes it seem like they just completely... let's just say it feels that way. It's not a setup. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know.
To me, it's about the way they present the information to us. You know what I mean?
Okay, so it's presented that way. There you go.
Yeah.
I don't want to say, oh, well, they set it up to be this way, and then, oh, but it's like, it just seems
like if that wasn't their intention, then they just gave us needless information.
Right. We're back on Steve now.
We're always only a step away from Steve, really.
So I said before that he didn't know how to be mean. He knows how to be mean a little bit.
Only when he's hurt.
Because whether or not he did it or had anything to do it, he let his friends do it. Yep. And it was really crappy. They wrote some mean things about Nancy on the movie theater marquee. And then they were writing mean things about Jonathan on, like, the alleyway behind it. And then Steve says some really, really messed up stuff about Jonathan. And he fully deserved to get his ass kicked.
Yeah. Steve got his ass beat and he needed it.
Yeah. Yeah, it was fully deserved. And if you know us, you know that we're a Steve appreciation.
We stand
space.
Steve.
We stand Steve. But he deserved this. This is like the one moment where, like, the Steve that we saw in the beginning of the season, like, that we saw, us personally, like those little glimmers of, Steve. And then the Steve that we know and love kind of fell by the wayside, and we were just like, oh no, you deserve this.
But you know what's really funny that I'm thinking about right now? In season 4, he's like, Nancy Wheeler, like, you gave me the knock on my head I needed to, like, become a better person. No, she didn't. Jonathan did.
I didn't even think about that.
No, Jonathan kicked your ass.
Did it.
And then you were like, oh, wow, maybe I shouldn't be an asshole.
But again, like, we don't know how much of it was on him.
No, they pretty much say outright that he didn't do it.
He didn't do it, but he let them.
He let it happen.
So that in itself is uncool.
Yeah.
You know, if you know it's wrong, don't let your crappy friends do it. But he has his hindsight moment.
That's the next episode.
The next episode, yeah. But he does have a hindsight moment, so, you know.
Yeah, and we get to see Steve fully formed in that moment. But we'll talk about that in the next episode. Steve being Steve. But, like, from that, we go to Mike and Dustin dealing with the bullies.
Well, no, we see Lucas find the lab. We see Lucas find Hawkins' lab first.
Oh, yeah.
We see that first.
Short scene.
It's really short. We just see that he has found the lab.
Yeah. Without any distractions, Lucas gets stuff done.
Yeah. And then we go.
Yeah.
Because this is how the episode ends.
Yeah. Those freaking kids.
They're really messed up. These are, like, middle school kids, and these Troy and whatever his lackey's
Well, don't forget, the lackey is actually like, yo, Troy, we shouldn't be doing this.
Right. But, like, they're, like, what, 12?
Yeah. This whole scene is very Stephen King.
Yeah.
Like,
absolutely.
a 12, 13-year-old kid has a knife, and he's, like, telling another kid, I'm going to cut your friend if you don't jump off cut his teeth out if you don't jump off this cliff. Like, no, that is straight up Stephen King shit right there.
Like, that's so...
In fact, after rereading that, one of the comics is about the bully, and it's supposed to be a story about that kid that takes place during season 2, and I kind of don't want to read it.
I don't want to read it.
Because I don't care what they do to this character. I cannot empathize with him.
Mm-mm.
No, he's just an awful...
He's an awful kid.
Awful kid.
But yeah, and because Mike is Mike, this is where, those, like, where we understand why Will would think that Mike is the heart.
Well, because Mike was a better character
Mike
in
was
season 1.
He was a really good, and he jumps off the cliff because he doesn't want to see Dustin get hurt, and then he's just randomly suspended in midair, and it's like, what's happening? And 11 comes and saves the day. The day. She, stops him from falling, pulls him back up, and breaks Troy's arm.
My big thing was, like, where Mike was literally willing to die for Dustin to keep him safe.
Why did that change?
Yeah, where is that
Mike?
Mike?
Where did that go? Yeah. Maybe there's
a bummer.
Maybe there's a reason for it. I don't know.
No, he just gets he's obsessed with his relationship, and everything else falls by the wayside. Don't be that guy. Just don't be that guy who, like, lets everything else in his life fall away for his girl.
Here's something that makes me mad a little bit. All Will wanted to do in season 3 was play D&D with his friends. The minute he goes to California, they start high school and join a D&D club.
Oh my God, you're right. Jesus Christ.
Like, what?
The minute he's gone.
They're like, let's play D&D again.
You guys remember D&D? We should start doing that again. Let's join the club.
Let's just join the club.
Hey, this guy seems pretty metal. Let's join his D&D club.
Right? Let's just join the drug dealers D&D club. This seems real safe.
We worked Eddie into episode 6.
We were doing so good. I was doing so good. Oh, you suck. I was so proud of myself.
So, okay, we're coming up on the end of the episode. Pulling Mike out of the air, like, knocked 11 on her ass. Like, she was barely conscious after that. We've come so far in terms of, like, what she can do before she's completely drained.
Yeah.
And then we get a little background on, like, how the gate was made. 11 made the gate out of fear because, the Demogorgon scared the shit out of her.
Yeah.
And that opened a gate. And just, they ended the episode with the kids, like, Dustin
they hug,
and Mike
they're all,
hugging
like,
her
hugging
and just
each other,
telling her she's not a monster, she's a hero, like.
And before this episode has one of the most iconic episodes uttered by Dustin. She's our friend and she's crazy!
She's our friend and she's crazy! Great.
I remember when this season came out, that was, like, a thing.
Mm-hmm.
That was all over social media. Just, like, that quote everywhere. So, of course, I had to work it in.
You had to yell it.
I had to work it in. It's a Dustin appreciation space. That's what we are.
It is. And we are. So, now that I'm thinking about it, though, it kind of annoys me that season 4 went back and had Elle go through that entire arc again of, am I the monster? Like, while I was watching it, I think enough time passed between seasons where I wasn't really thinking about it, but how many times have we seen that? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I mean, she's a young kid and she's got these, like, crazy powers and she's hurt a lot of people. So I feel like even though she is always assured by other people that she is not, it's still going to sit with her as, it's one of those, if you're an insecure 14-year-old, she's only supposed to be, 14, 15 in season 4? So, like...
Not sure.
She's a freshman in high school.
Oh, yeah, so like 15, probably.
Yeah. So, like, think about how insecure you were back then. And then you have these really weird powers, and you've killed people, And, yes, you're doing it to save other people,
and to survive.
But you still hurt people. You've killed people. It doesn't matter how many times somebody tells you you're not. You're gonna start to think that you are.
Yeah, I get it.
So I think that's why she is still thinking that way.
No, it makes sense for her character. It really does. It's just that we keep retreading the same thing in a TV show. You know what I mean?
Well, because we're, it's dealing with a teenage girl. It's what's going to happen.
It is.
I feel like that, out of everything, for being as, supernatural, fantastical as this world that they've created is, that's the most realistic thing about her, is that insecurity of, like, I'm not a good person. I'm not a good thing. I'm a monster. Right. I mean... And even so much in season 4, she doesn't have her powers for the beginning of the episode of the season, and she breaks a girl's nose with a roller skate.
Who utterly and completely deserved it.
She deserved it, but that goes back to her, probably goes back to her thinking, am I a monster? Should I have done this? This isn't something a good person would do. I would totally do that. Don't talk shit. Talk shit, get hit. And she did. But, if you think about it...
I blame Mike. If Mike wasn't all like, what did you do? She wouldn't have felt bad about
That's it. And she views other people's opinions of herself very highly.
Mike's like, what did you do? Mike, did you forget that she broke a bully's arm?
Right. Made him pee himself?
Yeah, like...
I mean, breaking the arm, okay, yeah, but, like, how did she make him pee himself? Did she, close in on his bladder?
Yeah, she squeezed his bladder. Pretty sure.
Very invasive, 11.
Girl gets shit done. It's what she does.
She does. But yeah, I mean, I think that's why it doesn't matter what other people are saying. She's just always going to think that way.
Yeah, well, at least until now.
Because now she knows, no, that's not me,
Yeah.
But that's why I think leading up to that, she's constantly having that, like, battle with herself.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I think that's where episode 6 ends off, right? With the kids kind of...
The kids are just huddled together on the ground. Yeah, they're...
Oh, no. It cuts back to Mike's house because Lucas is trying to get to them before the military people do.
No, that's...
They walk into the house and that's where the episode ends.
Right, because the next episode picks up immediately with Lucas trying to go home. Okay, yeah. But, I mean, the better note to end on is, the kids. They were so sweet.
They were.
They were so sweet in the first season. And it's just a great moment between the three of them.
But coming into episode 7, everything's about to hit the fan.
Everything is going to hit the fan.
It's going to be big.
It's going to be a wild ride. Hope you're ready for it.
We've got some stuff to talk about for episode 7. We've got a lot to talk about in episode 8.
For episode 8. Well, episode 8's the finale.
Yep.
So that was a big one. It was a big episode.
Yeah. A lot happens. And a lot that actually affects the future of the series, like, in a good way.
Yep.
So.
All right.
That's what we're going to call episode 6.
We're going to call it Dusty Buns Gets It Done. I'm Devin Grubb.
I'm Zach Grubb.
We'll see you on the flip side.
Nerd.